Alright, this video is to show clients how we can access the master data API endpoints using OAuth. So we have wrapped each of our domains, which are vendor, SKU, item, and location, around OAuth security, which is backed by my THG Passport for now. But in the meantime, what we're doing is we're going to do tokens that are going to be maintained by the merchandising IT team that's in charge of master data. So if we look at the URL masterdata-security.apps-mp.homedepot.com/security/API guide, we can see that how to obtain a token is described in here. The thing to know, the easy way to do this is to use a tool like Postman. So if I try to access something in item details, you see here the only thing I've got on here is a header that says application JSON, and I say, okay, I want item details, and then GTIN, and then GLN, and we see from item details that what we are asking is specifically details/GTIN/GLN, and then the response that comes back from that. So if I go ahead and hit that service right now, I get full authentication is required to access this service. So what I need to do is I need to go to authorization and get an OAuth token. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the authorization URL, which is security OAuth authorization token URL OAuth. It's just security OAuth token. Paste that in here. I'm going to take my client ID, which I said the client ID and the client secret is going to be maintained for each client by the master data team for now, until a true API gateway is used. Now that I have this information in here, I make sure that it's not on authorization code, that it's on client credentials, and I choose get my access token, and I can call it anything I want in Postman, and I can save that token. And then what I want to do is I can choose to either add it to the URL or add it to the header. I'm going to go ahead and choose add it to the header. So we see right now the only one I have on here is the accept header of application JSON. If I click on this, see headers has two things. The next is authorization, has bearer, and has our header on it. And now when I send, I get my data back. You can perform this exact same function. If in Postman we choose generate code snippet, we can see a whole bunch of different ways, whether in Java, JavaScript, any other thing that we could possibly want, Shell, Ruby. Let's go with curl for now. Copy that. We'll go ahead and paste that in. And we see that's the curl. Get, accept, authorization, bearer. It's got some Postman token that it put in there, but it's got the actual details there. If we hit that, we get the results back. And what we want to do is we want to pipe those results. If you're on a Unix-based system like a Mac, you can even do this with Windows, I believe. You have to download the curl. There's curl for Windows. And I think you can do this, maybe PowerShell. I know you can do it in PowerShell, as a matter of fact. But anyways, so we're going to do item.json. So we're just going to pipe that result into there. And we can see that we've downloaded it. And now we can do whatever your text editor happens to be, item.json. And we see there's all of our, that's our payload. Now if we wanted to do one of our larger services, for instance, let's say I want to do items, and I'm going to take this off here. The stream service, what it will do, item details stream, it will download every single record in that table, which is about 170 megabytes. It's a lot of records in there. In the QA, it's even more in production. And when I do that, my token gets authenticated, and then we start downloading, and then it will download all the records into that items.json file. If you open this in something like Postman, it may crash it because it's too much information. So you'd want to use something like curl or a Java client, some kind of thing, to download this information. The OAuth flow for security should always be to attempt to access the resource. If we get a 401, then we're going to go and call the token service, which is in the master security API, the token endpoint. We see we're going to give it my client ID, grant type. We're going to give it the information necessary to get our token back. Once we get our token, then we can submit it however we need.